All right, what's going on, guys? T Torres back here for another video. So as you can see, we have the hood up on the Titan. So what we're gonna be doing in today's video is we're gonna be changing out the transmission fluid with AMSOIL full synthetic. Big shout out to 1320 Synthetics for that, and new transmission pan gasket and filter. Okay, so here is the transmission filter. I'll have a link down in the description to that, as well as the gasket. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a drain and fill method. So I got a 10-quart bucket, however much fluid comes out is how much we're gonna be putting back in. So I got, see, 4, 8, looks like I got 12 quarts of the full synthetic ATF transmission fluid. And then we currently have the actual transmission dipstick out. Now, in order to get to the transmission dipstick, you just got to go right here, pop a black clip off. I took off my intake so I have direct access to the transmission dipstick. And then I bought this, I've had this oil filter, not oil filter, but I've had this funnel for a long time, so it's going to come in handy. So down below, when you're under the truck, the transmission pan has, I don't know how many, I'll let you know here in just a second, but there is a bunch of 10mm bolts that go around the entire transmission pan, as well as a wiring harness. We're gonna need to remove the harness out from around the transmission pan. But first, let's go ahead and drain the transmission fluid out and see exactly how much ATF fluid comes out. One of the big reasons I wanna do this, I don't know when the last owner changed everything, so I'm in the process. I just did the fuel filters, the one under the hood, and then the one at the pump below the gas on the frame, I should say. And then next we'll be on to we'll be doing the diff in the rear end. And yeah, so I can have a fresh start for a baseline. And yeah, let's get into draining the transmission fluid. So I'm gonna do my best to try to film under the truck. So as you can see right there is the transmission pan bolt that we need to pull to drain the transmission fluid. And then all along the side here are the 10mm bolts that we need to get loose in order to drop this entire transmission pan in order to get to the filter and the gasket. But like I mentioned, we're going to drain all the fluid out first. All right, so we are draining the transmission fluid. The bolt itself is a 19mm. This transmission fluid actually doesn't look that bad, so it might have been changed here. I don't know. Couldn't have been long before I bought the truck. We are just over about 10 quarts of oil. I don't think this fluid was that bad. It was still pretty light red. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the transmission pan and then pull the transmission filter as well. Okay, so whoever had this truck before me definitely used Dick Construction or had this on the job site. So if I counted correctly, you have about 20 10mm bolts around the entire transmission pan. And I got them all loose, so we're gonna go ahead and take the pan down. And then I think there's like 2 or 3 more 10mm bolts securing the fuel filter as well. So let's go ahead and drop the pan. All right, so we got the transmission pan off. Here's the transmission valve body. It looks like you got 3 10mm bolts you need to remove. And like I mentioned before, I'll have a link down in the description to the filter, the gasket, my little drain bucket and everything. I am an Amazon affiliate, so I do get a little kickback for that and helps me put money back into the channel. So let's get on to dropping this filter. All right, so we got the new filter on. I'm gonna say another probably half a quart came out. So we're looking at right around 10.5, maybe a little over 10.5 quarts we're gonna put back in the truck. I'll probably do a little more than 10.5. So let's go ahead and get the pan back up, bolted with the new gasket, and then let's go ahead and fill her up. Okay, while you already have the transmission pan out, there are 4, let me see if I can get it to, there you go. There are 4 magnets inside the pan. I took those out and got them all cleaned up. They're there to get, metal shavings and debris off the transmission. Mine were not too bad at all. All right, so we just got under about 10 quarts of oil in the pail. And then whenever I drain the transmission pan and the filter, that's probably safe to say that that's probably another quart. So we're gonna add 11 quarts of ATF full synthetic AMSOIL to the truck, run it down the road, let the trans temp get up to about 120, 130, park it on a level spot and check her out. All right, start off by adding 11 of these bad boys. It's probably gonna be slow and miserable, but we're gonna get her done. All right, all 11 quarts are in. Let that finish. That should be finished going into the pan as we speak. Put the intake back on, fire the truck up, go down the road, and we'll check the dipstick here in just a minute. All right, everything is put back together. The intake is on. I've got to go drop off my vintage motorcycle to a buddy's house that's about 40 miles away, so that'll be our test run. And then whenever I get to his house, I'll check the dipstick, and fingers crossed, hopefully shift flares and all that good stuff will be solved with going with the full synthetic transmission fluid. And if it does, I'm sure it's going to benefit. But like I mentioned, we also have the transmission thermostat, the 145-degree one. So let's get on the road. I am happy to report that old ASIN transmission is shifting so much better after we did the AMSOIL full synthetic oil change and the new transmission filter. I did about 20 miles, a little bit of here, stop and go traffic, and also did a little bit of highway, you know, rolling through the gears, getting on it, getting off of it. And I would tell you what, I don't think I've had a shift flare once. So, you know, it's only the first time me driving it afterwards, but I definitely approve of doing the full synthetic transmission fluid change in these Titan XDs. And then just for, you know, shits and giggles, because I already have it, we're definitely going to still do the thermostat. I think the transmission temp on the highway at the highest I saw it was like 150, and then we were running right around 146, 147 degrees. I stopped off here at this gas station, checked the fluid. I still got about another 15 miles to go drop this motorcycle off, but I definitely approve of this. And if this is something you want to do to your truck, I'll have a link down in the description to the oil, the gasket, the fluid, and the bucket that I use. It's a simple you know, drain and fill process. I would say probably 2 hours. I did have to call my neighbor to come and hold the transmission pan up while I got some outside corner bolts started, but that was super easy. But if you do end up buying off of my Amazon links down below, I do get a little bit of commission, and I would appreciate that. So if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Leave this video a big thumbs up. Even if you didn't like today's video, leave it a big thumbs up. Make sure you turn on your post notifications, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.